welcome back to my art and fiction channel. I'm having a cup of tea. As you can see, I'm hoping it won't go cold before I finish this video. I suspect it quite probably will do, but anyway, who's going to waste a nice cup of tea? Perfectly good cup of tea, I'm not going to waste it. Let me put it down for a second. Now today, I'm going to share with you some stuff that I bought. Over the last few days, I've bought some new art and craft equipment, so I'll share with you what I've bought. And the first thing I've got here is a little packet of crochet hooks. They're rather pretty colours, aren't they? Nice metallic colours. Now you're probably thinking, Adele, why have you bought crochet hooks? You don't do crochet, you are hopeless at crochet. Well, that's the whole point actually, because now let me show you. A million years ago, my sister Hazel, I'll have to stand up for this, my sister Hazel made a whole pile of these gorgeous crocheted blankets. Now she gave one to me, and it's had many a generation of cats and dogs snoozing on it for many years. Unfortunately, it's starting to look a bit frayed in spot, and so I'd like to repair it. I haven't got a clue how. So while wondering that, I came across a book. There we are. Crochet. The complete step-by-step guide. Essential techniques, more than 80 patterns. And as you can see from the front cover, it's got one of those lovely blankets like my sister made. So I thought I'd have a go at following the exercises and seeing what I can do. Right, prepare for this. We need a drum roll. This is what I've made so far. Prepare to be completely underwhelmed, okay? That's what I made. It's a sort of a chain stitch and I don't know what you call that, a well useless lump of knitted thing, I suppose. But anyway, eventually I'll get the hang of how to do this and hopefully I'll be able to repair her blanket. It'd be a shame for it to fall to bits, wouldn't it? On a more serious note, I bought myself some brush pens. Now I've not actually used these before. These are just hobbyist quality. They're not professional. Excuse me squeaking all over the floor in this chair. They're not professional quality at all, but I just thought I'd buy them for fun to carry around in my pocket while I'm sketching. When I go out sketching, I like to not be burdened down by a great pile of stuff that I've got to carry around with me. I find it much easier just to have a small bag with an A5 sketch pad and a few pens, a few pencils. That's it. Finished. Otherwise, you know, you're carrying all these bags and it's a nuisance. I mean, if you want to carry a ton weight in luggage, go ahead, it's your choice. I prefer to be able to move around. Anyway, so I'm looking forward to having a play with these. Brush pens, they've got black and grey right through to pale grey. Oh, a nice range of shades. And apparently they've got two nib sizes, a thicker one and a thinner one. So I'll let you know how I get on with those. I'm looking forward to playing with them, experimenting with them I should say, shouldn't I? I've also bought myself, on a more sensible note, some black ink. Now the ink you use for drawing is much different from the ink you put in, say, an ink pen. If you dilute an ink pen's ink, it tends to go bluish. This will stay black. Even when you thin it down, it will still stay black. And I've enjoyed drawing and painting with ink for decades already. When I was about 16, 17, I got into traditional Chinese and Japanese landscape watercolours, ink paintings, where you've got the lovely misty colours, the mountains in the background, and a beautiful brushwork. That's what got me into painting in the first place, actually. Looking at work by people like Seshu and Shuben. Fantastic work. Centuries old, still beautiful to this very day. So, ink. To sort of... Oh, and I got some new brushes as well. Let me show you my new brushes. Ta-da! Now this one is a size 30 and this one is a 20. And they're both by Daler-Rowney, part of their graduate range. This is a nice chunky one. A nice soft synthetic brush. I do not use sable brushes. Often when you read watercolour how-to books, they'll say, oh, you must use a sable brush. No, you don't have to at all. Absolute nonsense. modern synthetic brushes are fantastic. You don't need to torture an animal in order to do your painting. That's where sable comes from. It comes from an animal that's had its skin pulled off it so you can paint. Not nice. Use synthetic. Now these are nice chunky shape. This one's got a nice thicker stem, thicker handle. It's got a nice point on it as well. It's lovely and soft and bendy. It'll soak up lots of paint, lots of fluid. So that should be fun to use. This one is actually a replacement for another brush that I've worn out, which is here, this one. And I've had this one, the one with the black handle. This is a Royal & Langnickel size 20. I've had it for about 5 years, and if you look carefully, I don't know if you can see this too closely, I'll move it a bit closer to the camera. You can see how the point there has gone rounded, it's worn out. But you know what? I've used it for 5 years, I've used it continually. It's had one heck of a lot of wear and tear, so I would very much recommend this brush still. But I just happened to see this one, and so, well, it's the same sort of thing. I'll give that a go. And what I like about these is that they've got a nice long handle, which means you can move the brush. You're not sort of... Don't be tempted to get some tiny little tiddling brush that you just sort of go like this with. No, don't do that when you're painting. Nice big brush so you can move your whole arm and you get a lovely fluid whole arm and wrist, lovely fluid movements. That's what you need in painting, not some horrible little twiddling thing that looks fussy and stilted. So I'm looking forward to using these. They look nice, don't they? This one's got a plastic cap on. The other one didn't have, perhaps it's fell off in the shot, but look how nice and tight that point is. Can you see it? If I hold it a bit closer, can you see it? Hold it to the camera. Yeah, you can see it now, I think. Gosh, my hand looks enormous on the screen, doesn't it? Yeah, it's a nice little point. Nice for doing... That's the nearest to twiddly that you need to get, actually. Nice for painting with. Now then, I was pottering round the shop and I came across some gimmicky little canvases that are already in frames. They're probably hobbyist quality, but I thought, well, what the heck, I'll have some fun with these. Sometimes it's nice to just experiment with something that's not precious, because then you're not being too careful with your paintings. You can just have fun with it. If somebody likes it, fine. If they don't, so what? Here we are. I got 4 of those. I don't know what type of... Does it say on the front what type of cloth it is? Natural cotton, 100% natural cotton. Medium grain, 12.7 by 17.8 by 1.5 centimetres. Hung without framing, it says. Well, I don't know what that means, but it's got a frame on it. That's a bit meaningless, isn't it? It's got no stretchers behind it. There's no facility for stretchers. It's just... Unless they're hidden out of the way or behind the frame, I don't know. Can't see them anyway. But they're only for fun. They really are just for fun. I'll let you know how I get on with them. Watch this space. Now, a bit more serious was this pack of... It's called a watercolour fan set. And it is by Art Sensations. I thought, well, that looks interesting. Let me show you why. Now, let me take it out of the packet. I'll just show you while I take it out of the packet. Here we are. That's what it looks like. Hold it close to the camera. There we go. It comes with a little brush pen. And that's a pad of foam that you just actually peel off. It's got Velcro behind it. So you can peel it off. Yeah, you can peel it off quite readily to wash, perhaps, and then you can stick it back on again when it's dry. Now, these fold out. These little bits fold out. Let me show you. Oh, well, they seem to be stuck. Oh, great. What have I done? Excuse me a second. Why have they stuck? Oh, they're completely stuck. Hang on. All right, I'll just give it a bit of a... Oh! That doesn't bode well, does it? Hang on a minute. Oh, God. Let me show you what's happened. One of the pictures... Oh! All these should be on the other side. They've got stuck. I've just come to open them now. You saw me opening them. They've got stuck and they've come off and they're stuck on the wrong side. They should be on that side. I wonder if they'll peel off and go back where they're supposed to be. Oh, the orange one has. Hang on. Let me just put it back where it's supposed to be. Oh dear, I don't know what's happened there. Let's see if I can peel off the other three. Hang on oh gosh. That shouldn't quite have happened, should it? But you saw what happened. It was like that when I opened it. So much for good ideas. Perhaps not such a good idea after all. Is that upside down? I think it might be. Doesn't want to stick. There's another green one somewhere. There it is. On the back of there. Right. Here we go. Sorry about this. I just sort of undermined. None of these products are sponsored in any way, by the way. Perhaps it's as well, because obviously this one's just felt a bit slightly. Right, I've put it back together now. Oh dear. Oh, this is a bit fiddly, isn't it? Yeah, perhaps not such a great idea. So I'll hold it up so you can see what I'm looking at. Right, so you've got colours there, colours there, colours there, and there. And when you're actually painting with them, you can hold them out like a fan. And you've got a little paint palette on that bit there. Can you see that? I mean, maybe I'll stand up and you can see it better. Is that, yeah, that's better, isn't it? You can see what I'm looking at now. Now I have a huge hand. Oh, spot the amateur video maker. There we are, you can see that. So the idea is, rather than take a huge pile of equipment with you when you're sketching, which I don't like to do, as I mentioned before, you can take this instead. And assuming it's not got stuck together, you can use all those. Now I don't know what quality the paints are. I don't know how light type they are or what their blending capacity is yet. I've yet to experiment. But what I did do was notice that at the end of each one of these, they've got a little colour guide to tell you what colours they are. Okay, so with it being new, what I did, I'll just slide it together again, sit down, excuse me. I did, where have I put that now? Let me put that over there out the way for a second. I did a little colour chart to show you what they look like. That's the brush pen, which I'm not enamoured of. It's quite splodgy and feeble. Maybe that's my fault because I don't really know how to use it properly. I don't know. Maybe you can do a better job than me. But if you look at the colours, that's what colours they come out. You notice the two purples are virtually identical. I noticed that straight away. And the also shows that the colour chart that's on the ends of them there is a bit misleading, because the top row, and that's to the highest one that's on the paint there. You can see they don't bear any resemblance to the actual colours that are on the pot. The bottom ones are better. The second row seems to be a bit hit and miss. I'm not sure which one's which. There's a bit of a strange arrangement of colours as well. But anyway, maybe I'll get used to it. It'll be fun for travelling around with, I think. See what you think. I'll let you know how we get on. That's all I can do, isn't it? I'll let you know how I get on with it. Now, on a more professional watercolour, I bought some proper watercolour paints. These are, where's the maker's name gone? I think they're a Chinese make called Mungvo. I might be mispronouncing that, but that's how it's spelt there. Mungvo. Mungyo. Sorry, I can't speak a word of Chinese. There's 24 colours in it, in a rather nice little pot. So I'll show you the pot. Let me open the packet for you. I'll just put the packet down there. It comes in a nice tin that remind me of the old Reeves paint pots. Actually, that does. It looks quite similar, doesn't it, to the old Reeves paints that you used to get when you were a kid. It's got a little metal doodah on the back that you can put your finger in for when you're painting. Except I never do, but that's me. I open that up there. Open that up there. Let me show. I'll stand up to show you again. And you've got a rather nice little set of smaller trays there for mixing, bigger trays at the top, and all these lovely little paints. I've not even unwrapped them yet. They're all half pans, and they clip in with a tiny little bit of metal that you just ping like that, and you can replace them. And they're all in the little half pan plastic pot. They're a bit over wrapped when you think of the environment, because they've got a card wrapper on it and a plastic wrapper on it, which is a bit extreme, because of course plastic takes about 100 years to decompose. But here we are. If you come to replace them, you just clip them in like that. It's a rather nice set, isn't it? You've got a good range of colours there, right through from white. I rarely use white. Lemon yellow, which is one of my favourites. A few reds. I don't really use that many reds, but you've got orange, vermilion, through to something called cold pink. I don't quite know what cold pink means, how that relates to our colours. I'll have to do a colour chart and show it you again, won't I? I'll get back to you on that one and show you the colour chart after I've had an experiment with them. We've got some nice maple yellow as well, which is good. Nice range of greens. I don't really use manufactured greens, or at least I haven't in the past. Maybe these will make me change my mind. Some nice range of blues and purples. Well, I'll let you know how I get on. It looks like a nice set, doesn't it? It's easy to wipe clean, and it's obviously very portable. There's a little gap in the middle where you could put a brush if you wanted to. There we are. I'm looking forward to using those. They look really nice, don't they? I think they look really lovely. The only other thing I bought was, ta-da, Bockingford A3. Normally, when I'm doing a big watercolour, I prefer A2. But I thought I'll try some smaller ones for a change. I quite like Bockingford. It's a very traditional, very popular brand of watercolour paper for most people. Actually like Bockingford. There's lots of other brands you can pick from. You can buy cheaper paper. You can. But in my experience, I found cheaper papers to be a complete waste of time. Many a time I've been compelled by a bargain, been drawn, oh, I must get that, it looks really nice, and I've got it home and used it and thought, oh dear, it's not so good after all. The paper falls to bits. As soon as you start to work with it, the surface comes away, or it's just, oh dear. No, don't bother. I have demoted too much cheap paper to sketching paper to bother ever again buying cheap watercolour paper. It's not a bargain. It will never be a bargain. Save yourself some money and buy some decent, like Bockingford or Fabriano or Caddy. Honestly, it's better in the long term. It really is. So here's how they look when they're unwrapped. Okay, they're looking nice. Nice, strong looking colours. And here, as promised, is the colour chart. And as you can see from that, it looks very interesting. The colours are bright. There's quite a lot of pigment in there. Very pleasing amount of pigment. And yet they've not lost transparency. They're quite luminous, bold colours. So I'm really looking forward to using those. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, click the thumbs up sign. And remember to subscribe in the little button that's down in this corner here. And you won't miss any of my forthcoming videos. Thanks for watching. See you soon, and leave me a comment, yeah? Okay, bye.